Crazy, episode 139. I want to thank T Triple C and Marty, the editor, for making the Call Me Crazy show possible. First thing first, I'm going to talk about what I normally talk about. Uh, in the Middle East, there is this port that is surrounded by the three countries, Jordan, Israel, and Egypt. No, I'm sorry, I'll take that back. It's Jordan, Egypt, and I'm not really sure what the third country was. I'll have to get back to you on that. But anyway, the terrorists tried to shoot some rocket-propelled missiles that they were aimed at U.S. warships that were docked in the port by Jordan and Egypt, in the Middle East. And what happened afterwards was that the ships, the warships, knew that they were being under attack. But the fortunate thing that happened was that the missiles flew over the ships and hit a hospital. Fortunately, nobody was killed in that attack. But the second missile landed on the Jordanian side, and what happened, killed one man and hurt a couple civilians. But those people who shot those missiles are claiming to be Al-Qaeda, the Al-Qaeda network. But right away the warships took off from the port and went to an undisclosed location out in the ocean in the Middle East. I'm so tired I can't remember. But anyways, the point is that the terrorists are still at it. Al-Qaeda was around before 9/11/01. They'll still be around after 9/11/01. And that reminds me also, in a couple of weeks it'll be 9/11/05. So it's been 4 years since then, and still we haven't been able to catch bin Laden. But enough of that. But I want to let you know that Al-Qaeda is still out there. So we have a very lucky armed forces members on those two warships that weren't hit. So God bless them, and God bless all the armed forces. Okay, now we're back in the U.S., and we're going to talk about something that's going on in Texas, in a place called Crawford. I guess Bush has a ranch there, and that's where he spends his vacation. Right now, as we speak, he's on a 5-week vacation. And outside the ranch is a bunch of anti-war protesters of the Iraq War. Also, the thing is that's very significant about this anti-war protest is that a lot of the people who are protesting out in front of the ranch, their relatives and parents and spouses of loved ones killed in action in Iraq. And there's this lady named Sheenan. I think that's her last name, but she is the most vocal person right now in that protest, and she wants to have a meeting with Bush, asking her to ask him why is it that my son died in Iraq, and here's what Bush had to respond through a spokesperson. He said that he can't meet with the protesters because he's trying to have a balanced life right now. You go try telling that to the people in Iraq and Afghanistan now, Bush. You try telling them when they're under attack, under fire for 3 hours by God knows who out there in the middle of the Iraqi desert. You tell them that you're trying to have a balanced life. Screw you, and you know what? Does the president really need to have a 5-week vacation? I mean, a 5-week vacation, that doesn't sit right with me. Not when we got too many things going on. We have the 2 wars going on in Afghanistan and Iraq. Then not to mention the high rising cost of fuel. And on the subject of fuel, gasoline prices have been so high that these I read that the taxi cab companies here in town are going to start charging a $1 surcharge for the use for the money geared to buying fuel, gasoline, etc. And then I also found out that the airlines are adding a $10 surcharge to all airline tickets as of right now because fuel is so high. So it all leads back to Bush, but apparently Bush wants to have a balanced life. Yeah, and the silver spoon that's in your mouth. Alrighty, enough of that. Okay, on the subject of Iraq, a letter written by Saddam Hussein has surfaced, and he says that he will sacrifice himself to the cause of the Palestinian people and Iraq. Yada yada yada, Saddam Hussein, whatever. Alrighty, I can want to talk about this new program that's on HBO that I absolutely fucking rocks. It's called Entourage. I first started seeing it with my editor, and we saw it season 1 when it first came out. Is that correct? And yeah, we saw season 1, and even then we knew it was special, and it's so funny, people. I mean, you had these characters that are so, it's so, what's the word I'm looking for? So cliche in Hollywood. It actually works in the program, and it's called Entourage, and it's shown on HBO. But my favorite character on Entourage, I wish the whole world could see this, because he's one hilarious guy, and that's Ari, and he's the movie agent in the program called The Entourage. But anyway, he is hilarious. I think he's the best character on the show. But everybody else is pretty funny, and who can forget the unforgettable Johnny Drama? Alrighty, here's a mystery that the three more things I want to talk about is that Hunter S. Thompson was, we all know he committed suicide back in February of this year with a shotgun to his head. But he committed suicide, died, and he was cremated. And now, yesterday, or I think Saturday, up in, I think in Utah, is that where he was from? Marty, I'm not sure where he was from. Utah or somewhere. I can't remember where it was at. But anyways, I think it might have been his hometown, and they had a cannon. And what they did, Johnny Depp and several other people made donations to have this cannon set up with Hunter S. Thompson ashes and fireworks. And I saw a couple seconds of the fireworks, and you know what the newscaster said? We saw the cannon shoot up the ashes of Hunter S. Thompson and the fireworks. And you know what the newscaster said? Is like, you know, wouldn't people be scared to know that the human ashes might come down and get in your eye? And the other newscaster is like, what are you talking about? But anyways, we all can remember Olivia Newton-John from what was that movie? I can't even remember the name of the movie. It's a movie from the 70s, man. But I have very sad news, and it's late breaking. Olivia Newton-John, at the age of 49, has lost her boyfriend. No, but seriously, her boyfriend of 9 years has been missing, and they don't suspect foul play, but they said that it might be it might be foul play in Olivia Newton-John boyfriend. And here's the sad thing, you know, maybe somebody saw that movie Grease and said, oh, that's horrendous. I feel bad for Olivia Newton-John. I'm gonna go kidnap her boyfriend. So that's what I think happened. Okay, but here's one thing I want to talk about is Total X-Files, but a true movie. It's a truth episode. Like a week and a half ago, in Cyprus, no, that's by Greece, an airplane with 100 and some people were on the airplane, and then at 34,000 feet, they lost cabin pressure, and somehow they all became incapacitated, where they couldn't do anything, including the pilot. So what happened is they sent the government sent the two jets, military jets, to go see what happened, what's going on with the plane. And they went to the plane, and on the first pass of the airline, they noticed that the pilot was slumped over the seat. going around the plane. And then on the second pass, they go around the plane, and this is not red eye, people. This is a real story. On the second pass, the two fighter jets noticed that there were two people in the cockpit trying to control the plane, and then they only got one couple maydays from the flight attendant. Apparently, the flight attendant was able to fight out unconsciousness and able to go into the cockpit and try to save the plane. And the last thing he said was "Mayday, Mayday," and they crashed, killing all on board. But the thing is that nobody knows what caused all of them in the middle of the night at 34,000 feet. Well, that wasn't in the middle of the night. I think it was the middle of the day. But what caused an airline to go out of control at the 34,000 feet, and everybody becomes unconscious? You know, some people are speculating that, some investigators are speculating that maybe one of the cabin doors opened just a bit, and all the oxygen got sucked out, and so that's how what made them pretty much, get ready for death, I guess. But that's not a good way to go. You know, I would feel bad for the people. Maybe some of those people are asleep, taking a nap, not knowing they're taking their final resting nap. But that's the most fucked up thing I ever heard. And you know what? And they're saying it's one of the most bizarrest aviation disasters in the history. They're saying they're baffled by what happened. They have no clue. And you know what? I hate to say this, dude, but I think I know what my fear might be. Back in the 90s, Stephen King had a story called The Langoliers, and that's what happened. So I'm out of here. Okay, people, I'm out of here, folks. This has been a great day. There are no words to express on how I feel. Hasta, people. F9. Thank you, TCCC, for making everything possible, and I'd like to thank Eddie, of course, Wolfman, and Sean Connery. Thank you. I'm sorry, guys, that's it. Oh, I just want to pay tribute to Peter Jennings, who I used to watch along with Dan Rather in the 70s and 80s. But God rest his soul. But see what happened when you smoke 3 packs a day?